Today's conversation is sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9 to 5 optional, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising.
You're listening to the Going Long podcast, the #1 podcast for the strategies, tactics, and actions high wage earners need for living an intentionally designed life of wealth and resilience.
Welcome to the Going Long podcast. We're back once again to continue to help to educate you so that you feel comfortable as well as confident about your ability to be able to build a wealthy and resilient life. Yeah, I know that sounds probably a little bit new for many of you who've been with us from the very beginning, since June 2020. I guess, I don't know when you're listening to this, but at least you've heard that for at least the last 3 years. Well, guess what? The only constant in change is life. And yes, I'm a big believer in that. And so, first of all, let me just say thank you so much for continuing to be here. Today, I want to talk to you about the podcast, some of the ways that we're going to build on what we've been doing for the last 3 years, and really going to give you a lot more energy, clarity on the things that are going to help you to not only be wealthy, also resilient in the way that things are. So right from the very beginning, I just want to, if you've never been here before, well, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for coming across the podcast. And I can tell you that being here is going to be one of the elements that's going to help you to not only be wealthy, but also very resilient, which are things that are very, very important. At this point, we've done over 390 different episodes, and we've had so many amazing guests here on the podcast, 2 in particular who've been here actually 3 times, and pretty soon they're going to be here for the 4th time. That's just a little bit of a teaser so that you stick around. I want to jump in really quickly and let everybody know that, yes, we've been very fortunate. The podcast continues to be in the top 1.5% of podcasts according to Listen Notes. So if you haven't and you want to check it out, you can go to listennotes.com, put in the podcast, Going Long Podcast with Billy Keels, and you will see that we continue to be in the top 1.5% of podcasts because thanks to you being here twice a week, every week since June 2020, and we're going to continue to do that moving forward. One of the things that's been great is we've had some questions over the last couple of, I guess, weeks and maybe even months. And so since I'm the host of the podcast, I thought, let me just right from the very beginning, be a little bit vulnerable with everybody and share some things that, well, you're probably asking. Well, I know some of you are asking because you've actually sent us messages. And I just want to address something really quickly. And then I'm going to tell you a lot more about what you're going to get out of this podcast, how much more you're going to get out of the podcast. And so let me just say, for those of you who have asked about our highlight series, the highlight series has been placed there for a reason because we've had really phenomenal guests. And those phenomenal guests, if you were listening long ago, then we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to listen to what we consider to be extremely valuable content. All of our guests provide extremely valuable content. But more importantly, in 2023, yours truly, the host of the podcast, Billy Keels, had kind of 2 major events that took place in my life. Both of those major events, one affected my personal life and the other affected my professional life. And as a result, I really just wasn't feeling like being in front of a camera the entire time. It's one of those things that, fortunately, the way that we have and produce the content for you on a twice a week basis, allowed me the opportunity and have a phenomenal team that was able to help bring you value every week. And we had great guests that were along the way. But just for the moment, I really didn't feel like getting in front of the camera. And I know that you're going to be here with us through 2024 and even longer beyond that. And so the more that you stick around, you're going to start to hear some of those stories and the way that I was impacted in 2023. And one of the things my parents always taught me is like, hey, listen, if life gives you lemons, well, make lemonade. And so I guess I perceive I received a couple lemons in 2023. And so what I'm going to do is provide you with lemonade, because every single time that there is a learning, if you can share that learning on with somebody else, you can help somebody else to, look out for your life and be able to do things that are going to help you get to whatever your life priorities are much, much faster. So I just wanted to just address that because, like I said, we've been getting some emails and some questions through some of our different channels. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that Billy's here, Billy's back. And guess what? You're going to benefit so much from that. And speaking of which, one of the first things is some of the comments we've received is you like these solo episodes. You were liking them before. And guess what? I really, really love providing them for you and giving them to you. So you can count on having more solo episodes. They're going to be shorter and to the point. So kind of like today's episode, it's not going to be really that long. But you can count on having a lot more solo episodes moving forward. And one of the things that is really important, even you noticed in the very beginning, yes, we've talked a lot about being able to invest and invest long distance. That's the genesis of the show. That's where everything started because I'm a guy from Columbus, Ohio, who's been living over here in Europe for over 2 decades and was able to, as a result of putting my own personal strategy together and executing against that strategy, was able to leave my corporate role while I was still in my 40s, just gone beyond my 40s now, but was able to do that. And it took me about a decade to do that. And so that's a lot of where we started. Also, is being able to have a strong financial or base of assets, and those assets while you're sleeping are constantly working, and that will allow you to create options for your life. Like I like to say, in the last 4 years of my corporate role, I was going into that, and my 9 to 5 was really optional. Like I didn't have to go to the job, but I chose to go to the job, and so. We will continue to, or I'm going to continue to share and build on the foundation that we've started for the first 3 years and really help you to benefit, because what I also learned in 2023 is, yeah, you know what, having the assets is important, having the financial stability is really important, but when things don't go according to plan, the thing that really matters is first and foremost your health, and I mean your physical health as well as your mental health. That without those things, nothing else really matters. You can't move forward. So that's first and foremost. And then also something else that's extremely important are the relationships that you have in your life, the intentional relationships that you invest in, and also those relationships that provide you with energy. Without those strong, deep relationships, I don't even know if I'd be here speaking to you right now, or you would be listening to me right now. So we're going to talk about that because that's part of being resilient. That's part of the way that you can become wealthy, is the relationships that you have, that you're also taking care of your physical and mental health. And I'm going to talk about those topics. Those are topics that I want for you as well, because I want you to be wealthy. I want you to experience the amazing things that life has to offer. And these are from lessons that I learned in 2023. I also want to, resilience, the whole point of resilience, like it's absolutely key. And it's something that I've come to appreciate and something that I want to share with you. So moving forward, yes, we're going to continue to talk about investing and we'll talk about different things like that. But we're going to build on that, as I just mentioned to you before. And so I'm going to be even providing you with more specific strategies that you can use, different tips and different actions that you can put into place. Because the thing is like if you continue to be here and you're just listening and you're not actually taking any of the guidance that you've received from some of our guests or the previous solo episodes, like I don't want you just to be in consumption mode. Like take some of what we're listening or what you're listening to and put it into practice, right? You're going to learn. You're going to learn really quickly. Does it work for you? Does it work for your strategy? Does it work for your life priorities, or does it not? But at least you get the feedback and you go from theory to actual practical application and practical knowledge, which I know for you is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So I mentioned I wanted to keep this relatively short. I wanted to just kind of address, I don't know, some would say the elephant in the room, but it's not really the elephant in the room. It's just letting you know kind of what was going on with yours truly. And like I said, when you stick around, there's a lot that I'm going to unpack for you. There's a lot that I'm going to continue to share because I think it's important. And it's also going to be a really big exercise because someone like me, as you know, I'm a recovering perfectionist, right? And so it's a matter of, when you have a great plan, when you have a great strategy and things don't go according to plan, well, what is it that you do? So I've gained some more experience there. Plan on sharing that with you. We'll definitely share that with you. We'll go into more detail in future episodes, but just wanted to let you know that. So also too, you all know this all the time. Like I really love feedback. If you want to give us a review, if you want to follow us throughout any of our other channels, really active over on LinkedIn, also too on Instagram at Billy Keels. And always like to have your feedback in terms of what works. If you like the solo episodes, which by the way, you're going to get more of them because you've already told me that you like them, just let me know, let the team know, and we're going to continue to give you more value that way. Also too, one of the other things that, and I was receiving a lot of requests in the past was, hey, Billy, like, are you actually helping people like do what it is that you do? And so, although it's something I plan on doing probably 2025 and beyond, they've been given an opportunity to start helping primarily high wage earners, people like I was when I was in my enterprise software days, working really long, crazy hours, making really big bonus checks and having lots of income on the top line. And people that want to find a way to how do I make my 9 to 5 optional? How do you make your 9 to 5 optional? I've actually now opened up a one-on-one, high value type of coaching advisory program, I think is the way that we'll talk about it. So through the advisory program, we'll be helping, like I said, the high wage earners, helping you to be able to get clear on your life priorities, be able to get to your goals much faster than it took me to get to my goals. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to billykeels.com/advising. There's a little application process there and you can just fill it out. billykeels.com/advising. And I think that's the big thing. So really looking forward. You're going to get much more of yours truly. Going to do a lot more of the solo episodes and really expecting to engage a lot more closely with you. So like I said, I'm super active over on LinkedIn. If we're not already connected there, please send me an invite and we'll connect there. I know you're already here. And also too, going to be doing a newsletter. You'll find that on the billykeels.com website. And that newsletter is you're going to just get bombarded with a lot of the lessons that I've learned, and also pre-2023, as well as the things that are going to help you move forward faster. So listen, everybody, take today's conversation, share it with a couple friends, get together, talk about what are these things that Billy's going to be talking to us about. Yes, it goes well beyond just having assets. It goes making sure that we're helping you and sharing strategies, tactics, actions with your physical, mental health, also with the relationships and the intentionality of creating those relationships. Trust me, they are really key and important when things don't go according to plan. Aside from that, while you're doing that, while you're sharing today's conversation, I'm going to be here preparing for the next solo episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very much. Today's conversation was sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you're looking to make your 9 to 5 optional and need some help, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising.